Hey guys, my name is International Master Minh and well, today we are going to see the final part of the Elephant Gambit. Actually, this is like the hardest thing I can say the hardest thing I ever met in my life. In terms of opening courses, I can say that. Even at the end, I am still not that happy with the result of the opening. I mean, like even if he play the best stuff, he will even need to trying to play his best to prove his compensation, which in a lot of positions, is not easy at all. So what I want to do here is that I will try my best to give you the thing that I guess that may be the best for black to gain a complex and actually a tricky position. I will even show you guys two things to play for black. One thing, one variation is played by the international master, I think Abdullah Gadembaili from Azerbaijan. Actually, I mean, about this opening, we need to give him some credit, since he played that in a lot of Tuesday event in some Blitz games against some strong players. He is also 2800 from Blitz, 200, yeah, 2800 Blitz from chess.com. Probably, I mean, one of the best international master in the world. I don't know, but I mean, he plays a lot, and I do trying to follow his preparation. Obviously, I mean, I also dig pretty deep into the line. I don't even know how I can be, but I will do my best to show you what I can do. And also, you can see in this crosses, the refutation for white. So before I start, before we go into detail, the thing I can say is that this line actually is only, I think, decent for online blitz. I think blitz or rapid. If in classical and white is given some time to think, I think he can find the best defense quite easy. I can say that. So I think a good blitz weapon. I can say that, but no more than that. I'm worried. Let's go into some theory here. You can understand. E4 queen e2 f6 d3. Yeah, this move should deserve an exclamation mark. Knight c3 and d3 are the most played lines here for white, but I found d3 much more annoying. And I mean, I see that in some I also see this thing in some recommendation in Google, and they said that white is having a good position. That is correct, but I mean, I want to give you something a bit double edges and something that I mean will somehow deeper and can even change your mind about that evaluation. What's better? But he needs to find some good stuff. If not, so it should be around, I think, slightly better for him only. Okay, so now basically there are two moves. Queen d5 or should be 4. Queen d5 is the thing that the engine prefer, and I think would be my main choices. The other move here I see is played by international master Abdullah Garembeli. As I do mention earlier, he played before this move with the idea to check right away, and he won the castles pretty fast. Now against every other move, I mean, if you play knight d2 or knight c3, we have no ideas. We're just castling, and here we take, and we can wait here with a very annoying pin on this file. This position, for instance, I think it should be good for us. And bishop c5 here, and then this one maybe, and this pawn will be not easy to defend. His king and his queen is in the same pin as well. Also, if we play something like c3 here, I guess we can simply play. I think castling, and once again the same thing. Once again the same thing, which is good for us. This is the only variation that I think I need to, get the help of the engine to show you like a full thing about like a full evaluation and like the best recommendation by the engine in this line. This is very very sharp. But in the main line, C3 is the main thing. I can say that. Castling, D4. I only see him play bishop D6 here against like I think Artak Manukyan, I think, who should be the captain of the Armenian Egos team in the Pro Chess League. Here, so in that game, so somehow Artak played knight bd2 and then he fall into something like rook e8 and black is fine. But I must say that I am not so happy with this move, g5. I do, let my engine get this position and analyze for around 30 minutes. And I find nothing better than h6. Here, now if bishop h4, we can play g5. And then bishop g3, knight e4 first, like this. But he played bishop f6. Queen here and knight bd2. And now he's having 2 pawns up. He can castle knight as well. The best thing I fire for black is knight rook e8. And then, try and play for some initiatives. Actually, the engine will probably, get like +2 for this position. But I think, black can try to hope for, some complex chances. But I guess that if white play correctly, he's fine. Let's see, 4 here is the best move for white according to the engine. I don't know. The engine also go like queen e3 as well. Castling here is not something you need to worry since we're going to play c6, which is like one of the main idea to go for counter play in this line. But let's see, 4 here is pretty strong. I go deeply in this line and I found queen g6. But here takes and I d2. Sadly for us, we need to suffer from an, I think, inferior position. The idea here is pretty nice. He can castling and he can play this move, which I must say that I cannot find any refutation against that. Whatever it is, it should be at least like +1.5 or even more for white. Well, I don't know, maybe my engine is really weak, but I do try my best, and that is everything you can find. I don't even know if he has something like other thing in his mind. I think we need to wait for his game. But basically, he also played this one against Firuja, against some strong Blitz players online in Saturday, Tuesday. So I think he has something in his mind. He has something in his mind that we might not even know. But hopefully one day it might become public, I guess. But what I want to recommend is actually queen d5, like this. I want to offer something even sharper, and even more unclear, I can say that. This is super unclear. Super unclear, I can say. Queen d5. Now, to, attacking this pawn on e4, white has 3 moves. This, and this. Obviously, right now, if you take here, we go queen e4, right? And if you do nothing, we simply play bishop e7, and the pin, is blocked. I will go to the line that I find, the best for black first. Knight c3. Bishop b4, like this. Bishop b4. We can develop with tempo to pin him. If you take here, right? Take here, we simply play queen e4, and here we absolutely fine. Now if we play this one, we simply takes and takes that castling and knight c6, with I can say an equalized position and nothing to be worried about. Now d2 here is the main line. But now we can when he block the pin, now he wants to attack our queen. But now we take. And this is a very important move. Queen c6 exclamation mark. By attacking this pawn on c3, we force him to take on e4 with the knight. But I'm castling. And here due to the attack and the pressure in the open e-file, I think black should have some counterplay. Actually for black players, when you see this video. You don't need to be that worried. I will try to conclude something at the end that can be a good sign for black player. I mean, like, I do play this one a lot for black recently, and like not many people or seems to know the theory. But okay, I'm trying to conclude everything at the end. So now your text for instance should be to defend the pawn and go this move. This idea, which I can say pretty annoying for him. And I don't think it can be like much worse. I think it should be, slightly better for white, but not that much. The second line that actually, I mean like, I should even like making this one the main line here, since although I made this one the sublines, but this is like the most irritating move for me, basically. The reason why I trying to put this one in the subline is that I find this is super rare, like not many one playing this. Also, this line I can tell you that like it is the line that is not given and it's not like recommended by some Google articles. I don't know. I mean, like I find the elephant in Google, and most of the articles say that it is quite dubious, and they not given this one. So I think this is not that like famous. That's why I trying to get this one as a supply, but it takes me a lot of time to finish this move. Now, black can do a lot of stuff, but obviously you need to be careful that now this is going next and this pawn is hanging. So after a lot of effort here, I come to the best move, I guess, Queen A5. I can tell you that. So in most of the lines, the engine tend to agree with the queen exchange and trying to play the position without queens and actually have some compensation. But for me, I feel like we are sacrificing a pawn, right? So if the queen is off as well, so is it so hard for us? Obviously, there can be a position that we go for that, but not this one. So I tend to avoid the exchange of queens. You understand me in few seconds for sure. Now, knight c3 should be the main line. I mean, the e4 can be playable as well, but whatever it is, we just play the same move, a6. This is the move that I spent a lot of time, a huge amount of time, to prepare for this. The idea is to defend queen b5, which is very annoying. I can say that. So I simply spent a lot of time for this move, and I think I'm fine with the results. Knight c3, developing the knight, and also block the pin here and play bishop e6. And go back to the main line. Now what can he play? The idea for us is try and play this move next and castling on the queen side for some fast attack. That's why I think knight c4 is the best idea in by the engine, and also by my side. I mean like from my perspective as well. Knight b3 is not that threatening since we seem to take here and he need to take with his c pawn, right? Knight c4, and I went into deep as well. Takes, queen takes c6. Bishop b2, and we need to play this move. A very important one. Block the pin. Also now the idea is revealed after a3, we play castling on the queen side. Now there is no taking before, obviously, since the rook is being pinned, right? And now we're having some counterplay, can say that. For instance, if we play castling here, trying to get away from the pin, we take, and we take here, and probably a check. And now there are some counterplay for sure. We are finishing our development, and that cannot be said about white as well. Here and here, this is what I want to go in the end. I could play here, like this one. We can also go this one if you want to get back the pawn, but I guess that we'll find this position. Let's go to the main line by me, knight b2. Knight c6. So obviously right now, once again the idea by us is trying to play this move and castling on the queenside for some fast counterplay. So basically, why need to take a pawn? I mean, like, if he doesn't do that, simply his plan is so dubious, right? In the two captures, knight 4 is much easier to face for us. Bishop e6. Takes, right? Takes g takes f6. So now actually it's not easy for him to, go for some development. We can castling next here, and the e5 is being like quite annoying. If you play g3 with simply castles, and like now we got this kind of idea that is so annoying for him. I go queen e4 in the line, but I can simply take. This is one of the rare cases we can, I think agree with the queen trade, since we got huge initiative. I can't say compensation for the queen exchange and for the pawn. d4, knight b4. Taking this pawn in c2. If you play knight d4, we can simply play a very strong move here, which is castling. And making him, I think, really like, I think, suffering in this position. Bishop d3 is my line, but we go castling, taking his bishop. King e2, and here f5 exclamation mark. The idea is pretty deep. We're sacrificing another pawn. I mean, like, somehow this variation is on about sacrificing pawns. That's funny. But we open the e5 for our pieces. And if bishop d7, like this one. The idea now can be including taking here and bishop f5 with bishop pair, this one as well, and this one as well. I mean, like, there are plenty of things we can play here, which actually is not that bad for us. The main line I go through is d4. This is recommended by some articles I can read online, about the Elephant Gambit. And they said that here, so white is a pawn and black is not having a lot of accommodation. I mean, like, at first I need to admit that that seems to be correct. But at the end, I think I can find some some nice ideas that can give us some counterplay. Knight e4. So sorry, queen e6. What I'm talking about, queen e6. Still looking like, keep an eye on this pawn. Now there's 3 lines by the engine. I want to give it all. Like, first of all, let's e5. Now play knight e5 here. And then we can simply play this next. And then we trying to bishop here and castling again. I think with a fine position. For us. The engine gives something like +1 here, but I don't think that it is something, especially in a blitz game, like what can find, quite easy to play. I mean, like, from my level, sometimes I get a +5 and still losing the game, bro. So no worry at all. Queen c4, with the idea to exchange the queens, we play queen g4. Look at this pawn, and still look at this e6 pawn. I mean, e4 pawn, oh my gosh. This square will belong to the bishops. Now we don't need to worry about e5. e5 we got a very strong move, like this one. And this pawn actually is in some trouble, and we are, I think, in good shape. We're in good shape, I can say. h3, queen g6. He needs to play e5 eventually. Bishop d3 is bad here, since we can play simply bishop e6 with this idea. Have nothing to be worried about. So e5, and we'll play bishop e6. Queen a4 and d7. Once again, now the best move here for white is bishop d3, and this is the line we need to go through. Take, and take. Once again, I need to admit that white's better. But it's not easy for white to know all the stuff. Also, I mean, like, the bishop pair will give black some counterplay. I can say that. The final line, the engine pointed out is queen e3. But now bishop e6. Again, like, before here is fine as well. This is also fine. But at the end, I skip that. I think I skip this one. I want to go for some counterplay right away. I think that. Trying to, harass him with some nice move early, maybe something pretty nice. Bishop d3 and b6. I mean, like, if we can get the bishop pair here, we might have some counterplay. That is the idea of the movement before. And now castling bishop c5. Queen f4, for instance, we take, and here bishop a6. I mean, like, when I come to this position, I find quite happy. I think I'm quite happy, since, like, actually, I will give this one, like, white's better, but black do get some counterplay. The bishop pair can guarantee us some chances, and also I mean, like, his pawn d3 is pretty weak, right? Okay, that's it. So, this is the end, final part of the Elephant Gambit. So let's try to, talk through the thing and, like, give a conclusion. First, this is a very complex variation, and I can say that pretty nice one. Yeah, pretty nice one to play. In terms of blitz games, it can be an interesting weapon, for sure. Second, as like, can be said the same thing about, like, another gambit as well. If white knows how to deal with the gambit, he is fine. But I mean, in a blitz game, it's not easy, and also this lie is super rare. I can say that, super rare. So, I think at least, I mean, for a blitz player, it is pretty good. Like, even to 2500. I can say my repertoire, like this one, can be even working, like, for some rapid games. For classical one, I am quite doubted. I mean, like, at the end, I need to admit that white's better after everything happened on the boards. Third, I mean, like, I can say that I do put a lot of effort in this thing. Yes, I mean, like, somehow I need to, let the laptop run for, 2 days consecutively, and also, like, there are plenty of things that I, even trying to play something that is not what the engine want to play. I mean, the engine is fine with the queen press, but I don't. That's why I need to find something, I mean, like, maybe worse, but will pose more problems for our opponent. So, in this slide, I am in this part, the final part here, I do give, like, the refutation for white. The refutation for white. Also, the best way for black to create some problems and some headache for your opponent. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and you enjoyed the 11. Give me some feedback if you want to, and obviously, hopefully you can use this with, pretty good score. Thank you, buddy, for hearing here. Appreciate that, and see you.